Welcome to the Practice Power Up Podcast, your go-to destination for all things health practice management. I'm Danielle Hopkinson, head of brand and communications at Power Diary, and joining me is Damien Adler, our co-founder and head of customer success. Every episode, we're here to bring you the latest insights, updates, and transformative strategies to supercharge your health practice. From groundbreaking product enhancements to empowering company news, we're here to help you navigate the path to practice excellence. Stay tuned as we power up your practice's potential. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 20 of the Practice Power Up Podcast. I'm Danielle, and with me today, as always, is Power Diary's co-founder, and what do I like to say? Practice management guru, Damien Adler. How are you doing, Damien?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Danielle. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. It's been a long day, and I'm super excited to catch you almost in the afternoon. Actually, we've been on calls all day, and this is going to be an exciting podcast to kind of go over all of the things that have happened in June and July. And now we're in August of 2024 for anybody who's catching up and listening. And we're excited to jump right in because we got a lot to cover as usual. Now we're going to try to keep it short and piffy too. So I'll get out my stopwatch if I can find it. And let's jump right in. We had some big things.
I've started mine. Yeah, let's jump in.
You did? All right.
I did. I already started. As you were doing the intro, I was on there subtly with my phone, starting the stopwatch. I have it here.
I love it. Let's go. Okay. All right. Let's jump right in.
Let's kick off with calendar enhancements. So there's a few things here that we've changed. So there's a second time zone view now. So you can actually put a second time zone in. You can see it then against the in the calendar display. Super helpful when you're scheduling and coordinating appointments across different time zones. So sometimes people have practitioners that are working in different time zones, and to be able to have then a second time zone and be able to, be able to see that, or you've got patients in different time zones. So that's really cool. That's out. It's live. It's in the accounts now.
I think that was a request that people had made for a little bit of time. So I'm really excited to see that little delight feature out there.
Yes, I was going to say it sits in the customer delight. We rate, and as you know, of course, we rank and we categorize them in different ways. And this was a customer delight. People were asking for. We're like, yep, we can do that.
I love it.
Here's something even more exciting. I'm much more excited about this next feature, even though time zones are awesome. But now we have calendar filters. So what this means is you can actually filter the calendar so that you can actually see appointments based on certain statuses and certain things about the appointment. So you can see and filter the note status. So you can see whether a note is actually there, if it's missing, drafted, completed. So you can actually filter it and you can see what needs to be done.
I love that.
Very cool, because it's so easy when you're practitioner and you're busy and you're going flat out to miss and to go, what do I need to do today, or what notes have I done, haven't done? And the same for practice managers or people that are supervising, to be able to see, hey, what's been done, what hasn't, right? And it just helps everyone stay on top of their work, makes it nice, clear, and simple. Next one is you can see the invoice status. So whether an invoice has been unpaid, paid, or missing. So you can again filter and you can see information. So it just removes the noise and you're actually able to focus on whatever it is that you're trying to look at. And then the third one at the moment that we've got is around appointment flags. So you can filter to see specific flags that are attached to appointments. Which is awesome. So it allows, and there's quite a lot going on in the background to make this kind of happen. But it's super simple to use, and something that since we've had it out in June, it's been super well received. Lots of great feedback. So very excited to have that.
I think this released like right after we filmed the last episode 19, and I got the pleasure of doing a little demo of it, and I made a video. And it's really cool how everything kind of it fades to the background, and the ones that are focused on what you're really filtering for, how they come forward. So what we call UI, or the visuals that, they're so, to the user, it's just like, this is how it should look. But the technicality that goes into how much do you blur? How do you, it's really good. And again, I think they did a really spectacular job. And I think that's going to make, yeah, like you said, just viewing your calendar, take away the noise. It's a
Yeah.
really nice enhancement. I'm glad to see it happen. It was super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's yeah, it really, things like this are such a team effort, the customer team collecting all the feedback and what people are after. And then, it goes through to product, to sort of have a look at it, and our design team just trying to figure out the nuances, and then our engineers, and then our marketing and communication team to get it out there, and to sort of explain it to people. And so it really is a all team effort when you see features like this come out. There's a lot of people doing great work behind the scenes to make that happen.
They
It's
need
very
to
cool.
get in there and use it. So what we're saying is, if you
That's right.
haven't
Get in
used
there.
use it, because it's going to make your life
Exactly.
easier. And again,
It,
people are just going to love it. So, okay.
it sure will. If you're not using it, check it out. It's awesome. Okay, let's move on. User settings page. So in June, we introduced a new user settings page. Allows practices to configure settings that then apply globally across all users. So it's designed to really centralize the control over permissions and features that kind of affect everyone, in the practice. So that's a new, it's a re-engineered. It looks a little bit different, so it's easier to kind of operate. But then we can also do certain elements of this, right? So there's a practitioner profile access now. So let's maybe you want to take us through that one, explain
Sure,
how that
sure.
that works. Yeah.
So this stuff is so granular. So if we stumble through this, it's because there's like so much technicality in it, but really what it comes down to is really allowing people to configure their accounts and the settings within their accounts to meet their practice's needs. So practitioner profile access. So there's a new setting that allows practitioners to access and edit their own profiles without needing the full settings menu access. So they can just go ahead. You could set this up so they can access their information, but they don't need all of the menu settings access. So that's good. This includes adding details like the insurers, link to their profile, and their calendar synchronizations. Users can navigate to their profile, their practitioner profile, via the menu and the top right corner of the interface, where they can make the necessary updates. However, they won't be able to delete their profile access or access broader system settings. So again, this is just enhancing the security, limiting access, but really giving the practitioners the ability to take care of themselves. Yeah. So again, we're just really cleaning it up so that security can be taken into account. Practitioners can take care of themselves still, but there is some, just security measures in place. And I think it just is smart stuff.
It was a bit all or nothing before, and that was sort of a bit of an issue, that like you needed access to that settings menu to make any changes in there, which meant that the admins of the accounts would need to do extra work, which really was unnecessary, because any changes need to be made, they had to go through that. So through that admin person. So this sort of allows more self-management. And therefore, it means that the right people can do the right work without opening up the settings too much to allow people to do things that really they don't need access to, and therefore shouldn't have access to.
So now they don't have to call the admin and say, add some insurers to my page. They can go ahead and just do it and take care of it, or whatever they have to do. So that's nice. I think that's great. All right, we got more permission stuff. Let's keep going. Woo.
So new user permissions. So the waitlist access. So previously we sort of had the waitlist sort of bundled with the people menu permissions. So if you had people menu, then you could see waitlist, but if you didn't, you couldn't. So now it's a separate permission, giving practices more control over who can view and edit the waitlist. So again, there were circumstances where you want people to be able to view the waitlist, but you didn't want them to have other things in the people menu. So that's just separating it out. Again, allows people to access that without being given permission to other things. We have a new edit, note, and form template permission. Again, new permissions that this can kind of control more on a granular level, who can sort of like edit a note or a form sort of template within the practice. So again, in the past, you needed a much wider level of system access to edit the notes from the templates. And that is not always appropriate, because there might be people that need to edit those templates, but they really don't need broader access to, user settings and other things that were there. And so this way, again, it separates out and allows practitioners and practice owners to really decide what level of access they want to give each person to each of these each of these features. So that's really cool. And then the user access levels. Do you want to walk us through that one? How that sort of plays out? Yeah.
Yeah. So we're introducing now, it's been introduced, clinical and administrative access levels. So clinical access allows users to view clinical records for clients where they are either the primary practitioner or a user with access, or administration, I don't know why I can't say that word, administrative access, which restricts users from viewing clinical records by default, because you might not want your administrators to view those clinical records. They are sensitive. So by default, it like removes that. So this is useful for like receptionists who are managing schedule, but don't need to see the sensitive client information. So makes total sense. Let's just take care of that. Let's have these two different accesses. I love that we made this functionality available. It enhances privacy. It ensures that users have the access they need. It just makes sense. And again, I think this is Power Diary, really hearing the feedback of our users and what they're looking for. Like, I need this. I want this person to have X. I don't want them to have Y. Let's not make the receptionist even have the opportunity. Like, let's help her, let's make this easy for her. Let's give her administrative access, but not clinical access. It just makes sense. So again, really listening to the feedback, making these changes, making these access levels. I mean, I'm sure you running a practice, you could see how this would be beneficial for everybody.
And at a broader level, for those who may not be aware, so in Power Diary itself, we have two separate sections: administrative, notes and files, and clinical notes and files. So most practice management systems don't have that, right? They only have, of course, your clinical notes and your clinical files. But we know, and we built this some time ago now, probably a couple of years ago at least, where there's a separate section for admin notes. So if, let's say an admin person takes a phone call and he or she wants to then write a note, about that, then they can do that in the system without, of course, they can't put it in the clinical record, but so there is those, if you're not aware, there are those separate templates, separate section in the client profile,
which are great,
that allows you to do that.
Which are great because, again, like you said, they might get a phone call. That person's really upset. How do you let the practitioner know that? You want them to be aware. I mean, I think there's several different ways you could do that, but a nice note template right there. It's accessible for them. Administrative notes makes sense.
Yeah, very good. Awesome. Okay, let's move on now. I'm gonna given you you're in the US. I'm gonna let you really run this here. We're gonna talk about automated US super bill creation and also the CMS 1500 form. It's very, very exciting, but I'm going to let you run this because you're all over this and you're living and breathing this at the moment. And
I'm living and breathing it. This is all so the CMS 1500 form is obviously something that's very important for filing insurance claims. And Superbill is great for those that are, taking private payments and wanting to get reimbursements or getting cash payments and all that. You got to have these documents. So we've had Superbills for quite some time. But it wasn't, you had to manually go into the record and automate it. But now we've got an automated process where it will create it. It will email it monthly, or you can set it up to however you want. You can configure it for your practice, and it will send out this super bill, which again is, if you did it monthly, would be all of the bills or all of the appointments and invoice, on one bill. And you can send it out via email right to your client, print it off, whatever you need to do. Practitioners can configure these settings and auto-generate these super bills for the client. And again, like I said, emailed. So you can update an individual client's preferences, or there are defaults that you can set up and then you can work with those. So what does it do? Reduces the administrative burden. It ensures that the super bills are generated and sent out. And quite frankly, it just makes your life easier. So piggybacking off of this, so that happened in June. I'm going to throw this one in there because this is for our worldwide customers. So this is a great functionality. We have automatic statement generation and sending, which is very similar to the super bill automation, kind of utilizes the same back-end functionality, and it automates the generation and emailing of monthly statements. So it's essentially the same thing, but perfect for everyone else around the world. And again, practices can enable or disable this feature globally and adjust it on the per client basis as well. So again, this ensures your clients get it monthly, reduces the administrative burden, and makes your life easier. So two great features that came out of, we started, and this is kind of all of the automation stuff. Like, we're working on these great automations. So super bill, billing, just part of that process of the ever evolving Power Diary. And again, us listening to you and what you need. And then on top of that, we got the CMS form generation, which I highlighted or kind of jumped into a little bit in the beginning. But the CMS form is very important for insurance claiming in the United States. So CMS 1500 form. It lays the groundwork for what we did next. So again, this is like a form. It's got all these little things, all populates based on the client profile, populates based on their service they've been provided. You can edit it. And then at the end of the day, you get this great CMS 1500 form that you can download, you can email. It's an editable PDF. So if you needed to edit it after the fact, you could, but really you can do it right there in the system and fill it all out and not have to touch that PDF. And again, laid the groundwork for another feature that we'll talk about a little bit later, which is insurance claiming. But again, just really something that our US practitioners really needed to go ahead and get those reimbursements back from their insurance providers, and really important for the insurance integration. So I'm excited that we were able to get that feature and head on into the other stuff that we released in, well, I guess it was early August, but a lot of work went into it into July. So we'll get to that at the end. Let's continue on with all the other stuff. Did I miss anything? Does that sound?
No, I think you nailed that. That's great. All right, so that was all June. So let's jump right into July. So in July, we released some additional user settings that you'll see there. So practitioner availability. So this is building off the back of what we were just sort of talking about before with new granular settings. So this new sort of setting allows practitioners to edit their own availability directly from their profile, again, without needing that full access to the menu, the settings menu. So it's which is great. So they can, if they have this permission granted, they can do this. The other thing related to this is around available services for online booking. So practitioners can now sort of toggle and toggle off the available services for online booking directly from within their profile. So again, they're allowed to sort of do more customization to match the way that they're practicing without necessarily having to need the administration of the account to be involved in that. So that's
now I'm not
easier.
in product, but my guess would be as they started releasing these granular permissions and really getting into it, they really started like honing in on some stuff that they needed to add more of. And that's why they kept adding in these great additional functionalities. Like, oh, wait, we can do this. Let's do that. I think it's really great. And I know that that's kind of how I being involved in working with our fantastic product team to really understand these features. And when they come out, they're constantly hearing the feedback, and I know that's kind of how they work. They're like, oh yeah, let's do this, and they kind of get it out there. So it's
and we have like a plan that as we go through that we release bit by bit these updates and changes based on that feedback. We get feedback close to real time, and then that feeds into the next kind of cycle of customization.
It's great. It's really great.
Okay, now what I might do then is I'm going to jump into multiple Stripe accounts, and then we'll loop back to something about some US clearinghouse. So multiple Stripe accounts. So this is a global release. So practitioners can now connect their profiles to individual Stripe accounts, allowing them to receive payments directly into their own accounts. So before, you'd have one Stripe account that would be covered across, that would be utilized for all practitioners within the practice, right? And you can still do that. You don't have to make a change. But what we have built is now functionality where you can have multiple Stripe accounts and have them linked, in the system so that a practitioner is receiving payment into their own Stripe account. Now, one of the reasons that, well, there's a few, but one of the catalysts for this sort of change is in the Australian context. There are some tax implications and some legal implications about whether a practice receives the payment on behalf of the practitioner. So there's been discussion over the last little while about that if is a person working in a practice, are they defined as an employer, employee, are they a contractor, and so one of the sort of tests for that is around the way in which payments from patients are handled and where does that money sort of go. So by allowing individual Stripe accounts to be linked to individual practitioners, it enables practices, if it's relevant to them, to configure like their account and their flow of payments in a way that matches the legal requirements for however they're set up. So if they've got contractors, for instance, as the people that are working in their practice are engaged under a contract rather than an employee agreement, this allows them to better reflect that the payment process and how they collect money is better sort of fits and matches some of the definitions that have been put out there about what does the payment flow look like if you're a contractor versus an employee. So that's one of the use cases and one of the catalysts for why we actually made this change. But of course, when you think about it, there's lots of other reasons that people may want to actually handle the money separately and have money come into their accounts directly. So it provides a lot more flexibility for our users all over the world in terms of giving them options how they set it up. But for those in the Australian market that are listening, this really allows you to kind of customize that. And if you talk to your accountant and so forth, they'll be able to explain, because we obviously can't give you legal advice or accounting advice, but we can say, like, if this is relevant for you, you can talk to your accountant about it, and they'll explain the difference of depending on how your contracts are set up, what the differences may be in terms of where payments flow. Or talk to your solicitor if you're a lawyer, if you use one. So that's awesome.
I know that was highly requested too. So again, I love it. I just love it. I love it when we listen. Yeah. So good. So good.
We do. And we do monitor some of these rulings too that come out, like where sometimes there's landmark cases that go through the court system about whether some, that sort of testing a sort of an element of employment law or contract law. So we do monitor those things as well and look for the sort of implications of that for our users as well. And so we'll try and sort of stay ahead of that and make sure that we're onto that whenever something comes up. And often a lot of the industry associations we work with, and we have a lot of partnerships, and that's wonderful as well, because they also make sure that it's another sort of source of information that helps us kind of make sure that whatever market we're in, that we're really getting that feed and sort of listening closely to what's happening. Okay, now without further ado, I'm going to throw it back to you for some more stuff about our US clearinghouse integration. If we had a drum roll sound effect, I'd add it in right now. But okay, tell us about US clearinghouse integration.
We had Danielle's drum roll.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so obviously, as Medicare insurance integration is extremely important to our Australian friends, having US or the capability to process insurance in the United States is extremely important to our US practitioners. So yes, we are excited to announce that we have begun our phase 1 of insurance integration. You can go ahead and go into Power Diary. So get into your Power Diary account. You go onto your subscription page, go to your optional add-ons, and you want to go ahead and request to be connected with our Apex Clearinghouse. So that is our clearinghouse. So we're working with the clearinghouse to go ahead and process these payments. So you do have to go and get, fill out a little form, get your registration filled out. You have to go ahead and, as a practitioner in the United States understands, you have to go ahead and with your clearinghouse, get accepted and approved by all the different insurance carriers, because here in the States, we got a lot of different insurance providers. So you have to go ahead and get approved by all of them. You have to fill out all this great information. And then once you're done and you've got it all done and you're accepted, you'll go ahead and the information will come back to us. We'll let you know, and you will be able to start submitting your claims through Power Diary to the insurance provider, to our insurance clearinghouse, and then start getting paid. So this is, again, a process we're working through. It's going to continue to improve the functionality. We're going to continue to grow with it. But the phase one and really getting started and getting you up and running, we have begun that process. And I am super excited because at the end of the day, just as we love our Medicare integration in Australia and how much it helps our Australian customers, this is going to help our United States customers to have a similar process, and we'll continue to evolve this just as we have continued to stay on top of Medicare and evolve that process as well. We don't forget anybody, and we'll continue to grow all our functionalities for all of our regions. But again, we're really excited to have this up and running. This is particularly useful for all of our practices that handle their own billing and want more control over their payments and getting those insurance payments collected. So we're really excited. We have got great Help Scout articles. If you're curious and you want to kind of learn more about it, I'll go ahead and we'll put them in the bio here for this video, so you can go ahead and click on over to them. Next,
they're not Help Scout anymore. Just the knowledge. What we mean is we mean knowledge base. Yes, we have changed our knowledge base and our ticketing system, which a lot of people would have seen. It now comes from HubSpot. But we have a knowledge base. It's the same as where the other one was, so you don't need to do anything.
URLs didn't change. None of that changed. It's just ingrained in my brain, and I don't even mean to say it. So
I know, I say it too.
Our knowledge base articles, excuse me, I'll add them to this. And again, all URLs, anything you had in the form, all still works, even with this change. And what we'll do, what I'm planning to do, you can go ahead and you'll see it soon. If for our US customers, you'll get an email. Me and our product manager are going to film a little demo to show you how this new integration works, so you can see what it will look like after you've completed the enrollment with Apex and you get your number back and you can start submitting those lovely insurance claims. We'll give you a little demo on how it works and what you'll do. So we'll have that coming to you soon. So really excited. I know the team worked hard on this, just like we do on all our features, and yeah, it's like we're just stepping up our game. We're catching up to Australia here in the States, because you guys got that Medicare integration, and DVA claiming, which is fantastic. And I know our customers really appreciate that functionality and how much it benefits them. So I'm hoping our US customers will appreciate this as much.
Again, one of those things, so many requests coming in from our US customers, and I mean, it's been on the roadmap for a little bit that we would do that, and there's so many requests come in that we're like, okay, this is absolutely a needed thing, and really great to have that out there, and just streamlines everything. So that's great. And I think, as you were saying before, when we develop new features, and our team, behind the scenes, we haven't sort of talked about it much actually on this podcast recently, but we're just growing and growing behind the scenes. So our development, team, we are, recruiting a lot, and over time we're just growing, those teams. So our kind of ability to develop more and bring more features and more things has just been growing as the company's growing. So it's super exciting to be able to do that. And often you see things that cross-pollinate too, like we do something in one area, and then that we sort of might have the original idea or the request comes from one zone, one region, and then we realize actually there's a whole lot of really positive implications for another region. We see that a lot with our security and privacy.
Monthly billing automation, like that kind of thing, how that this makes sense, why not do this? It just it does. It definitely, they all seeing how different places need different things, but we're so similar. Like, it's the world on a nutshell. Like, we're all different, but we all have so much in common, and what we can learn from each other. And that's kind of goes with these features and everything. And not to pull back the curtain, but ladies and gentlemen, I've been attending all of our fabulous product update meetings lately, and I can tell you the things that are coming soon are really exciting. There's a lot of really good stuff that the team is working on that I can't tell you, but that everyone is going to love. And there's just some really cool things in the pipeline that they're continuing to work on. And I wish I could tell. It's
Might
hard
there
for me
might
to
there be
keep a
some
secret,
might there be
Damien.
some might there be some AI things by any chance, Danielle? Or
I don't know. Definitely, maybe
okay.
some really cool visual things. And again, yeah, not to pull. It's hard for me to keep a secret, but
Yeah.
lips sealed. Now,
All right, let's close it out. Let's talk
let's
about
close it out.
achievements, recognitions quickly, and then let's finish up.
Now, my Australian friends do not like to brag, but us here in the States have no problem. So let me go ahead and do a little pat on the back for our team because they do a lot of really hard work that earns us these fantastic awards from G2. So the G2 Summer Awards, which I know it's the winter down under, but up here on the other side of the globe, it's the summer. So I don't know. We don't know how we can fix that. So we'll just go with it. Summer awards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 awards. So leader in small business, best results, small business, best estimated ROI, small business, momentum leader, and users love us. So these are awards, and this is all in the medical practice management category. These are awards that are collected based upon the reviews that we receive that are independently reviewed. They go on in there. We do not, that they go and do that. I don't write these.
They're objective, like they just go in there and they
I don't write these reviews. We're not writing them. They're written by people that actually use our software. And then we get these badges. So it's a lot. It's a big accomplishment, all tied to the colleagues that are working here at Power Diary, from customer success to dev to product to marketing to all of us and everything that we're doing. And and
I think at the end of the day too, like it really comes down to I was just pulling up our G2 profile now as we were talking, just to have a look at where we are on the on some of these leaderboards, which is looking very, very good. So I think the one of the things here is at the end of the day, it's around really our users that get on there, and it's lovely when they get on there and they'll give a review, and it's very, I don't know, it's easy. I think as people, we're often motivated more to make like when we're annoyed or we're complaining about something, and it's a special level of effort, I think, when people go on and actually do a review, and we really appreciate it. It's a nice feedback loop for the team, just to see this is how people are experiencing the product, and so look, a big thank you to everyone that does get on there and give those reviews. We really do appreciate it, and we do understand it's not like it's everyone's so busy, and when they do take the time out to do it, it's super lovely.
I think Damien,
thank you very much.
Blushing. I made him blush. I couldn't help it. You guys, look, it is. We are very thankful, and it's a huge honor. So it doesn't get lost on us, and we will keep working hard to continue to earn these awards. At the end of the day, we have to earn them.
I'm proud of
Good job, Damien.
I'm proud, and I'm appreciative of people doing that.
We're having a little fun tonight. I'm making Damien blush a little bit. I don't like it.
On that note, we should finish up. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, everyone. It was a great episode, and until next time, I'll see you next month, Damien, for our next episode. And you guys, everyone, have a great evening and good night, good day.
That's good. See you later.
Bye.